I'm calling the meeting to order at 4:47. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The opening session part of the meeting will begin around 7 p.m. Before proceeding with the agenda, I want to inform the public that Trustee Gonzalez-Mars will be participating remotely in accordance with Board Bylaw 9320. I would like to provide Trustee Gonzalez-Mars with the opportunity to inform the public of the just cause for remote participation.
Thank you, President Chu. My just cause is due to childcare. Thank you.
Thank you. Item B, public comment on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comments on closed session agenda items online?
There are no public comments on closed session items.
Thank you. Seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Good evening. My name is Lisa Chu, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Spanish interpretation is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Francisco Mesa and Claudia Lindgren. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes, Student Board Member Fish Leader.
Present.
Trustee Shu.
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez-Mares.
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz.
Present.
Trustee Martin.
Present.
Trustee Water.
Present.
Trustee Reiser.
Present.
Quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. As we begin our meeting this evening, we would like to begin with sharing both our Napa Valley Unified School District's vision and mission statements. Our vision is our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. Our mission is to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interests, and build resilience, compassion, and confidence. Item E1, report on closed session. Trustee Gonzalez-Mares, do you have a report on closed session agenda items?
Good evening. Yes, I do. In regards to report on closed session items, item D1, student discipline, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session, pursuant to Ed Code 35146 and 48912-20 Government Code Section 49060 and 49078 and the Family Rights and Privacy Act. Expulsion on 3 cases. The board recommends the expulsion of student 02122026A.
May I get a motion?
Move to expel.
Second.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Ms. Morales, may I have a roll call?
Yes, Trustee Shu.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez-Mares.
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Water.
Aye.
Trustee Reiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
The board, item 2, the board recommends the expulsion of student 02122026B.
Move to expel.
Second.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Shu.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez-Mares.
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Water.
Aye.
Trustee Reiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
And the third case, the board recommends the expulsion of student 02122026 26C.
Move to expel?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that the report, trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Yes, President Chu, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, we are now on item E2, flag salute. I'm going to invite the 2 students of the month from American Canyon to come up to the podium, if you would, to help us with the flag salute. If you can just turn on the mic. Yeah, thank you. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Okay, item E3, announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. Item E4, approval of agenda. May I get a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item E5, approval of minutes. E5A, January 22nd, 2026.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Roll call vote, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item E5B, February 3rd, 2026.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Roll call vote, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
I was not at this meeting.
Okay, that's the special.
On the special?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, aye.
Abstain.
No, you can abstain.
not.
Sorry, abstain.
Yeah, he abstains. And Ms. Morales, he was not at that meeting.
Okay, Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Musetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
We do not this evening, President Chu.
Thank you. We are now on to item F, recognition of students of the month. F1, Napa Valley Adult School. Will Principal Peterson please present the students of the month?
Good evening. My name's Colleen Peterson. I'm thrilled to be here tonight to recognize 2 outstanding students from Napa Valley Adult Education. Our first student is the November Student of the Month, who's from our Digital Literacy Program. And our lead teacher, Emma Nyberg, will introduce her.
Okay. I would like to recognize and introduce Rosita, who began taking classes at Napa Valley Adult Education in the fall of 2025 when she enrolled in the computer skills course at Napa Junction Magnet School. Rosita has since enrolled in 2 additional courses offered at NVAE
Ask 12 in ESL. Rosita is being recognized as the Student of the Month because she possesses many qualities that reflect and demonstrate her eagerness to learn, her progress in the class, and self-advocacy skills. Rosita is a shining example of dedication, curiosity, and positivity. Her self-motivation, organization, and punctuality set her apart, while her positive attitude lights up the classroom. In the class, students are learning new concepts each and every day, which can be challenging, especially being new to the use of technology and/or computers, and doing so possibly in a different language other than their first language, which is what Rosita has done. From starting with very little knowledge of technology, she has worked tirelessly to develop her strong computer literacy skills. Rosita utilizes new concepts she has learned and applies them to her daily life. She is always asking thoughtful questions and taking careful notes to practice at home, showing her commitment to growth and learning. Her determination, enthusiasm, and eagerness to embrace new challenges make her a role model for her peers. We are proud to recognize Rosita as Student of the Month. Her journey is truly inspiring.
Hello everyone, my name is Rosita. I'm happy and honored to speak today. I attended computer classes last semester at Napa Junction. This class has been a wonderful experience for me. It helped me improve my computer skills, gain confidence, and feel motivated to continue learning. Because of these positive effects, I decided to enroll in ESL classes last semester. That it was very helpful. I'm continuing the computer classes and ESL classes this semester. My computer class teacher was Miss Emma. I want to give a special thank you to her. I learned a lot from her. She is very kind, patient, and supportive. She taught each lesson in 2 languages, English and Spanish. My first language isn't English or Spanish. My first language is Farsi, but she taught me with patience. I appreciate Miss Emma, Miss Gabby, Miss Elia, Mr. Zahid, and the rest of the team, who were always helpful and encouraging. In the end, I'm thankful that the adult school offers some classes in our area, which makes it easier for people like me to attend, people who want to learn more knowledge and skills. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for your attention.
Okay, our December student is from the Adult Secondary Program, and Program Coordinator Grant Dinsdale will introduce her.
Hello. I would like to introduce Marlene Saucedo. Marlene is a recent graduate in December, and she was our student speaker at our graduation ceremony. An NVUSD graduate portrait quality that fits Marlene is Career Ready Scholar. Marlene took advantage of the 2 21st Century Skills courses offered in conjunction with Napa Valley College, Communication in the Workplace and Leadership Essentials, earning the 4 remaining elective credits she needed to complete her diploma. She reported that she really enjoyed the classes and learned a plethora of relevant and applicable skills for her current job. In addition, Marlene returned to the high school diploma program in April of 2025, needing 67 credits. She completed all of these doing offline work, not on Cyber High, submitting work that was both thoughtful and thorough, demonstrating that she truly cared about learning the material. She did all of this while working full-time and managing a busy household with her husband. I'm very proud to introduce to you Marlene Saucedo.
Good evening, everyone.
Coming to Napa Valley Adult Education School was one of the best decisions that I have made for myself. Like many adults, life got in the way of finishing my diploma between work, family, responsibility. Going back to school felt overwhelming at first and scary, to be honest. But I knew I wanted more for my family and for my future. And I knew this was something I needed to do for myself. At Napa Valley Adult Education School, I did not just earn my diploma, but I proved to myself that it's never too late to start again. I gained confidence, discipline, and a sense of pride in accomplishing something I once thought had passed me by. I would not be standing here today without the support of so many amazing people. I want to thank Kristen, who was an important part of my journey. She answered the phone when I called to register and sign up. She immediately made me feel welcome, made me feel comfortable. I also want to thank Grant for always being available, supportive, and encouraging when I needed help, guidance, and to be honest, honest feedback. So I really like that, honest feedback. And his patience truly made a difference. I would also like to thank Kim and Sam for being available online, helping me stay on track with my work each week. Knowing that I had the support of virtually meant everything. Most of all, I'm grateful for this program and what it represents. Napa Valley Adult Education School gives adults like me a second chance, offering flexibility, understanding, and a belief and a goal of that our goals still matter, no matter our age or circumstances. Thank you for creating a place where growth is possible. Dreams are supported and success is achievable. I am proud to say I earned my diploma here, and I'm excited for what's coming next. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you so much and congratulations. Item F2, American Canyon High School. Will Principal Hatton please present the students of the month?
Good evening, Dr. Musetti, President Chu, and Board of Trustees. Nice to see you all. As you were reading the vision, I had to write down the words confident and compassionate. I feel that both of our young people here today from American Canyon truly embody both of those things. And I'm so proud to say as well that they both, I feel really confident, are ready for adulthood in the real world. It's one of the real privileges of my career to be the principal at a school where we have such astounding students. So I'm very proud to introduce them to you tonight. Our January Student of the Month is Madison Gaskins, and she was nominated by Summer Hart. Maddie will probably tell you about it, but she's a phenomenal actress. And she has been deeply involved in the theater program, the leadership program, I think president of the BSU this year, and also plays soccer. Ms. Hart says that what makes Maddie truly exceptional is her authenticity. On stage, her focus and emotional truth are captivating. Off stage, she's a curious, caring, and courageous advocate for her peers. She embodies the very best of what a student artist can be, someone who is dedicated to the success of the group as she is to her own personal growth. So I will introduce to you Madison Gaskins.
Good evening. Thank you to the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education for having me and allowing me to speak this evening, and thank you to the staff at American Canyon High School for this award. It is an honor. I have been fortunate enough to have amazing teachers throughout my education. There are many amazing teachers and school staff members I could acknowledge here tonight, but I would like to take a moment to specifically acknowledge just a few. Thank you to my leadership teacher, Mrs. Harris, who nominated me for this award. Mrs. Harris has not only made me a better leader, but a better person. I would also like to acknowledge my theater instructor, Ms. Hart, as she has been a great mentor and director throughout high school and while applying to colleges. I would also like to give honorable mentions to Mr. Yu, Mr. Riza, Mr. Brown, and especially a special thanks to Mr. Lago. I would also like to thank my counselor, Wendy Sommers, for her guidance and for helping me navigate my college application process. I have always been an outgoing person, and when I got to high school, I knew I wanted to experience everything it had to offer. From clubs to the arts to academics, I fully embraced myself in everything on campus. Black Student Union and Thirst Project are two clubs I have dedicated my time in high school to the most. As president of Black Student Union, I have created a space on campus where Black students feel like they belong and our culture is acknowledged. In Thirst Project, I have worked to raise funds to provide clean, safe drinking water to developing countries and build a sustainable fresh water well in our focus country of Eswatini. By participating in these clubs, I have learned valuable lessons such as leadership, commitment, partnership, collaboration, and the benefits of volunteering. Academically, in addition to my regular classes, I was able to take dual enrollment classes at Napa Valley College. I'm grateful for that opportunity because I was able to explore other subjects of interest, and it provided me with an introduction to what to expect in college. For 9 years, soccer was also a huge outlet for me. In high school soccer, I have appreciated the teamwork and camaraderie involved with serving as varsity captain for 2 years. This year, I had to step away from soccer to focus on what I know I'll be doing for the rest of my life, theater. If you had told me on the first day of freshman year, when I first walked into that drama studio, that I would be where I am now, I wouldn't have believed you. 4 years ago, I stepped on stage for the first time as an ensemble member in Newsies. I was terrified of being too loud or making a mistake. I felt like I didn't have a voice. Theater changed that. With every rehearsal and performance, I grew more confident, not just as a performer, but as a person. I learned how to take risks, trust myself, and step fully into the space I was given. Over time, I found my voice as an actress, which eventually led me to lead our production of Hadestown all the way to the Sarah Bareilles Awards. At just 16 years old, I performed at the world-renowned Orpheum Theater in front of Sarah Bareilles herself and helped bring home the trophy for Best Overall Production. That moment meant more than just winning an award. It showed me how far I had come. Theater didn't just give me a stage, it gave me confidence, purpose, and a future. After high school, I plan to bring that confidence and purpose with me as I attend a 4-year university, which I intend to major in musical theater and double major or minor in education, and possibly pursue a teaching credential in the future. In closing, I would also like to thank my family, my parents, and my brother, who actually stood in this exact spot about 2.5 years ago, who are always there to support me. Again, thank you to the board, the school district, and American Canyon High School for this award.
Okay, remember her name and her face, because someday. Our student of the month for February is AJ Tor. He is nominated by his Spanish teacher, Mr. Orozco, and social studies teacher, Miss Bell. I think the portrait, the graduate portrait that kind of captures AJ is an equity-centered local and global ambassador, and he'll tell you more about his work in that way. Mr. Orozco says, I am nominating AJ because he represents the kind of graduate we hope to see. He has always been an outstanding student in my class, but what stands out most is not just his straight-A record over 4 years of high school, it is how much he genuinely cares about his community. His work ethic, responsibility, and ability to balance academics with leadership show that he is ready for life beyond high school. So, AJ Tor.
Thank you so much. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, the Superintendent, and honored guests. Thank you so much for recognizing me tonight. I am truly grateful for this opportunity and for the support NVUSD continues to give its students. My name is Amarjot Tour, and I'm a senior at American Canyon High School, and I'm honored to be recognized as an equity-centered ambassador, a career-ready scholar, and a confident and self-affirming self-champion. These titles mean a lot to me because they represent growth, confidence, and the belief that every student deserves to feel seen and supported. I've been a part of the Napa Valley Unified School District since 2014. I started at Napa Junction Elementary, continued on to American Canyon Middle School, and now attend American Canyon High School. Throughout my time in this district, I have had access to strong academics, a STEM-focused curriculum, and teachers who truly care about their students' success. I want to thank Mrs. Bell and Mr. Orozco for seeing the potential in me and pushing me to believe in myself as a learner. I would also like to thank our principal, Ms. Haddon, for creating a school environment that is safe, respectful, and welcoming for all students. Their support has helped me shape not only the person who I am, but also who I am as a student. Through the encouragement of NVUSD staff and programs, I've been able to give back to my community in meaningful ways. I have helped start a nonprofit medical clinic working with cardiothoracic surgeons and doctors from USF to support communities' health. I've also worked with the Napa Youth Council on tobacco retail licensing efforts to reduce tobacco and drug abuse among teenagers. In addition, I also serve as the youth executive chair for the American Red Cross North Bay chapter, where I coordinate disaster preparedness events and blood supply support across 4 different counties alongside executive directors. None of this would have been possible without the people who stood beside me. I want to thank my parents, Hardeep Thur and Ravneet Thur, and for their consistent love, sacrifices, and belief in me to be the person who I am today. I'm also thankful for my friends who supported me, encouraged me, and stayed by my side through every challenge. After high school, I plan to attend UC Berkeley as a pre-med student. My goal is to become an inspiring physician and continue to give back to the community that I was raised in. Everything I've learned in NVUSD has prepared me to take this next step with confidence. Thank you again to the board, the superintendent, and the entire NVUSD community for this honor and for investing in students like me. This recognition means more than just words.
We're going to take a moment to take some photos.
AJ Fan Club. I'm Kevin.
Oh my God. Wait, stand up. Come on, go first. Oh, I guess.
Thank you and congratulations to all of you. Okay, we're going to continue on. We are now in item G, public comments on non-agenda items. Trustee Gonzalez Morris, did we receive any public comments on non-agenda items via email? Trustee Gonzalez Morris, it looks like you're muted.
I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. No public comment was received via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org before 8 a.m. this morning.
Great, thank you. Before I open the floor to public comment on non-agenda items, I would like to explain the rules that govern this area of the meeting. The Brown Act open meeting laws under which we are required to operate prohibit board members from discussing items that you may bring up that are not on our current agenda. The reason for this legal restriction is to make sure that anyone who has an interest in a particular district business matter knows through the board's posted agenda when we will be discussing as a board, so that they can also be present and provide input on the item. We are very happy to have you here to let us know your concerns. Please know that while we cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, we are listening to your voices, and we expect and know that our staff will follow up with us on issues raised by members of our community. Relevant to the remainder of the board agenda, please understand that the board listens and considers public comment on agendized items during our meeting. However, public comment is not intended to be a two-way dialogue between the public and board members and/or staff, and therefore trustees will not respond to individual comments. This is in accordance with our meeting procedures. We invite members of the public to provide input via public comment per our board bylaw 9323 regarding meeting agenda items. We welcome and appreciate the public's engagement and input. In sum, please know that your voice matters and makes a difference. Your public comment on agendized items might be referenced during our discussions and will be considered as we make decisions regarding agendized items. Mr. Michaels, are there any public comments on non-agendized items online?
There are no public comments on non-agendized items.
All right, any in the boardroom? It doesn't look like any. Great. All right, we are now on to item H, reports. Item H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. And we will start with Student Board Member Fish Leader.
Thank you. I don't have too much to report tonight. On January 23rd, I was able to sit in with Vintage High School's student voice meeting, and we focused on how to create new programs, new clubs for incoming freshmen and students who are unaware of what is offered at Vintage. It's something that I think we struggle with as high schoolers to find different programs and clubs that we care a lot about. On January 24th, I was able to learn from Mike Thompson's Leadership Council in Middletown County, and there wasn't much there except for the geothermal plant, which we toured, and we got to learn about the different careers and actions which are in the county. On February 3rd, I attended yet another Mentis Leadership Council meeting. February is the month of Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and we are working on a self-awareness kind of Valentine's Day event. The month of March is just Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're trying to efficiently find a new event that can help teens around the Valley. And then lastly, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge all of the counselors and district people working with financial aid workshops. It's something that I get so many emails about, but a lot of students who come to me and ask about any of the processes, I tell them I'm going through the same thing, and it is such a tedious process. So having the counselors who are working and trying to help parents and students get on the same page, I just wanted to take a moment to thank that. But that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Reiser?
Yes, thank you. Let's see. On January 27th, I attended the Curriculum and Student Support Services Board Advisory Committee meeting. Also, the NVUSD Employee Celebration, Annual Employee Celebration, which was an amazing event. Hats off to Ms. Page and her department for putting on such a classy show to celebrate our amazing staff. On the January 28th, I had a phone call with our CSBA governance consultant in advance of our midterm superintendent evaluation workshop. On February 2nd, I attended as the district representative for the Special Education Community Advisory Committee meeting, and I will report on that later. February 3rd was our special board meeting for the superintendent midterm evaluation. February 4th, I had my one-on-one governance check-in meeting with Superintendent Massetti. February 5th, I attended along with Trustee Chu, the City of American Canyon 2x2 committee meeting. I will report on that as well. On February 7th, I attended within the community the 9th annual Napa Black History Month celebration that was founded by community member J.T. Thompson, supported by a wonderful committee who puts this event on, hosted by Pastor Pete Shaw at the Crosswalk Church again this year. There were representatives from the Napa Valley College Umoja program, which is a specific program supporting Black students at Napa Valley College. There was also a former NVUSD, I'm pretty sure, a student who's now at Napa Valley College who was the keynote speaker, and just an incredibly inspiring gospel choir performance. So I really encourage the community, if you missed it this year, to attend. Next year will be the 10th. On February 10th, I attended the Facilities and Technology Committee Board Advisory Committee. And also we had a special countywide board meeting hosted by the Napa County Office of Education at the Yountville Community Center. On February 11th, I attended at Napa Valley College another Black History Month event that featured Ms. Wanda Johnson, who was the mother of Oscar Grant, who was the young man who was killed by BART police officer on New Year's Eve in 2009. She is a justice advocate and was incredibly powerful and moving presentation, in particular to hear the response from the students in the audience and also the adults in the audience. So really a meaningful experience. I was grateful to Napa Valley College for sponsoring that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water?
Thank you. Right, it was a busy few weeks. On January 24th, I went to American Canyon High School to see their famed drama department put on, one-act plays. It was lots of fun. Saw some colleagues there. Then on the 27th, I went to the Employee of the Year event. Thank you to Dana Page, and she looks really great in sequins, by the way. And I felt underdressed let's see, sometime in there, I too talked to our CSBA representative about the superintendent evaluation. And on the 29th, I went to an all-day workshop as a guest of Cindy Biederman of NCOE, and it was on human trafficking. And they gave us a lot of, we had some interesting speakers, some of them terrifying, others quite salty and startling and outspoken. One message we got was to parents, do you know your child's passwords? Do you know your child's passwords to all your devices? And the lady, and of course, nobody knew, and she said, well, congratulations, you've just let the pimp into the house. And everyone was in shock and thinking, oh no. But it was a real eye-opener, and I think not coincidentally, this covered 4 counties. Sonoma, Marin, Solano, Napa County. And yes, we have a tourist economy and trafficking in Napa County. We are a full-service tourist economy, unfortunately. And I don't think it was a coincidence that just last week there was a big bust, a big trafficking operation that was many arrests, underage victims. It was a major operation. So I learned a lot from there. And on the 31st, I listened to an American Association of University Women. Basically, it was all day podcast. It went on for hours, but it was about assorted speakers, and it was about school boards and how school boards are perceived by political extremists that cover the waterfront as really easy ways to access the to get in and access get elected and turn things around in the direction you want. And and this has absolutely nothing to do with educating students. So it was signs to look out for. I also, on the 31st, went to the Jarvis Conservatory and saw a film called Can't Look Away, sponsored by the Michael Lenardi Foundation. And it is about how the attention economy, social media, is constructed to make sure they get your eyeballs, particularly young people. And there was a retired teacher there, Principal Valerga from Silverado Middle School was there. Several Napa Valley Unified parents were there. One of the DLAC parents was there, and they said, we should think about sponsoring this film. And so our parents can see it. On the 3rd, NCOE had a board meeting, and we also had our superintendent evaluation meeting. On, I think it was the 5th, at any rate, it was a Tuesday, I went to see visit secondary school libraries where I was made to feel very welcome, and got to see, our online resources that are used, and I had a really good time. We have some wonderful people working in our libraries, and they're very welcoming, and I observed students walking in at all hours. That was lots of fun. I attended the Board Policy Advisory Committee meeting, and made myself more or less unpleasant about artificial intelligence. And then then that night I went to a Napa Valley College reception for scholarship donors, and it was a lot of our students go to Napa Valley College. My son went to Napa Valley College, turned it around for him. And unfortunately, tragically, I missed the a cappella event because of a cold. I was a sponsor for that. And on the 10th, I attended the Facilities and Tech meeting, and I think we're going to have some good news about that. I was really happy at that meeting, and then also attended along with my colleagues, the all-county school board meeting, and where the subjects discussed were chronic absenteeism, and we had a gentleman from Common Sense Media speaking. And again, this was a good follow-up to the trafficking issue, because the way, it's not the scary guy at the mall anymore who's trolling for victims. It's a friend online that your child can meet while playing a game, and your child might think that the person is a friendly person his own age, but isn't. So it was a very I thought that it was a good event, and I'm glad I went, and thank you for your work in putting that on, helping Josh Schultz put that on, Dr. Massetti. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Trustee Martin?
Yes, on Saturday the 24th, I attended along with Trustee Water and Trustee Chu the American Canyon High School's two plays. They did Drama 1 did A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is one of Shakespeare's hardest plays, and it was you actually knew what they were saying. You actually knew which play they were doing. So that was great. And then the second act was a talk show that the seniors created called Unfiltered. And so it comprised all of these just characters that these students just decided to create. And the talk show was a venue for them to act out all of their characters. And it was so cool to see how creative high school students are when they get the opportunity to create their own world. On Tuesday, January 27th, I attended the curriculum meeting. That night, the 27th, I was going to talk about Superintendent Page and sequence, but you beat me to it. It's always nice to see her riling up the crowd at the very glamorous Employee of the Year celebration. On Thursday, February 5th, I visited American Canyon High School, finalizing my goal to visit all 26 campuses as trustee. And there I went straight to the drama department and saw Summer Hart, and where I was able, actually it was the Drama 1 class that was meeting, where I was able to congratulate them on their production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I explained to them how hard it is. And I was like, Summer, why did you choose this for a Drama 1? And so that was very satisfying to congratulate them. And then I also went to the demonstration kitchen, where the teacher was a professional chef, and she runs a commercial kitchen. And so the students won't know what it's like to be in squads and to have different squads, and they were celebrating a kid got a job, like a 17-year-old got a job as a dishwasher, and everyone was super excited that he actually got a job using the skills that he learned in high school. And so now all the other students are like, hey, how can I do that? So that's which is the whole point of the career pathways that we're developing. Let's see. Then on the 10th, I attended the all-county board meeting, where it was very interesting what they talked about with attendance and media use. And I think that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jenkowitz?
Thank you. I had an enormous amount of community engagement over the last few weeks, and I feel really lucky to have the opportunity to connect with our NVUSD parent community and our external community. I suspect that we have all been asked why. Why do we do all that community engagement? And I think the why is because our student success is strengthened when internal and external communities work together as partners and not in isolation. I guess it's a reminder to me that valuing education is worth that phone call or cup of coffee. I attended the Board Advisory Curriculum and Student Support Committee meeting. I attended, albeit virtually, the Employee of the Year celebration, which by the way worked fabulously. I hope all felt a great deal of pride being acknowledged by their peers Thank you to Assistant Superintendent Page and HR for hosting such a well-executed and meaningful event. Congratulations to all the recipients, and a huge shout out to you guys for the care, fun, and thoughtfulness that made that evening a fitting tribute to those that worked so hard on behalf of our students. I too had a meeting with our CSBA consultant ahead of our evaluation workshop. I attended the Board of Education special board meeting. I had a call with Vernon Billy, the CEO and Executive Director of CSBA. I attended the CSBA Bylaw Committee meeting where I was appointed Vice Chair. I had numerous calls with the local board regarding their governance practice and shared our best practice standards. I had a meeting with the CSBA Regional Director from Southern California to discuss CTAG, which is the CSBA Close the Achievement Gap Initiative, you all will be hearing about. I had a conference call with our PACER, Carrie Castro, and Tyler Nelson, the Regional Director of Area 1. I had a call with an additional local district regarding our facilities master plan and bond resource allocation. And I want to say our website is the gold standard for bond information. They were blown away. I attended the all-county board meeting, and I'm on the AEC Planning Committee for next year, and I attended my first planning meeting, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Yes, good evening. My fellow trustees, student board member Fish Leader, Dr. Massetti, staff, and community members. I'd like to congratulate the NVUSD HR team, which is led by Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, for the 5th annual Honoring Our Outstanding Employees. This event, once again, the sparkle did not fail. And congratulations to those who were nominated and especially those recognized with their respective awards. Thank you for being everyday examples of our core values, how you show up as adults, as we strive to make our vision and our promise a reality. Since the last board meeting, I participated along with my fellow trustees during the special board meeting for the superintendent midterm evaluation. This is an important midpoint, which provided clarity in Dr. Massetti's work with her team. I also participated in our board advisory policy. This is already included in today's board packet, so I'll defer to that. I, along with others, attended virtually the Napa County Superior Court hearing. In addition, I attended all county board meeting hosted by NSOE. This was already shared by others. And I also just echo Trustee Jankowicz that I appreciated the several conversations having to do with our constituents and connections that have made my way in regards to making partnerships or connections with our NVUSD. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. So as for me, I attended the ACHS Drama Winter 1 Acts. Of course, it was wonderful. I watched the Employee of the Year celebration online. That was perfect. I also attended the City of American Canyon and NVUSD 2x2 committee with their city council members. I did attend the a cappella extravaganza put on by Napa High School, my first time, and it was awesome. I think I might be a regular there. I also I ran into Principal Sally Zickman from Vichy, and she sends her regards to a student board member, Fish Leader, who she was very pleasantly surprised that you are with us on the dais. And I also attended the all-county school board meeting, and I had my board president check-in yesterday with Dr. Massetti. And I wanted to take this moment to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year that will start on Tuesday, and also to put in a plug for Matilda, who one of the stars we saw today as a student of the month, Maddie Gaskins, that will start next Friday. I'll be there. All right. We're now on to item H2, Board Representative Reports. H2A, Special Education and Community Advisory Committee. Trustee Reiser?
Yes. It was a really informative meeting. I encourage any community members who have students who qualify for special education services to tune into these meetings. They're really focused on providing relevant, practical, actionable information for parents to support their students. This session was my first one back on the committee. I served 4 years ago, but it was my first time attending in this year. There was a guest speaker named Annie Brower, who was a representative from the Office of Clients' Rights Advocacy. So OCRA is the acronym, and they serve I guess there's an Office of Clients' Rights Advocacy within every regional center. So she was representing the North Bay Regional Center and sort of explained the services that they can provide to their clients. So just very briefly, they can support in some cases of special education advocacy, although that's not their primary area of focus. They can also support clients in securing public benefits, such as Medi-Cal, and then there was just a lot of very helpful and useful and detailed information about the complexities around applying for and receiving supplemental security income, which for families with, older and maybe graduating out of the school system, special education students can be very critical, and it can also be, there's also a complexity around the process for being able to receive funding for protective supervision hours if a special education student needs that support as well. So just a lot of really helpful advocacy information that was part of that committee meeting. And that concludes my report for that one.
Thank you. H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representatives.
That's me again. So, we met with the city manager and assistant city manager of American Canyon, along with two electeds from their city council, which is the format of the 2x2. And we always just discuss issues of overlapping interest and concern. Specifically in this meeting, we spent quite a bit of time talking about enrollment trends specific to American Canyon. And within that, sort of the impact of the transitional kindergarten on enrollment and what that looked like for the city, and also the open enrollment policy that we have and some changes that are, that we're addressing there and what the impact could mean there for the city. We talked a little bit about some traffic flow issues around American Canyon High School. And also they shared some information about their 2026 High School Citizens Academy. So that was always nice to connect with our municipal partners there, and that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives. You have not met?
Have not met.
Okay. H2D, Town of Yountville Liaison Representatives.
The meeting was canceled.
Oh, that meeting was canceled. All right. And now we are on to H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great, thank you, President Chu. So good evening, everyone. It's great to be here, NVUSD trustees, staff, and broader community. I just want to start out with a quick expression of gratitude. The Napa Valley Community Foundation continues to be a partner of the school district. They are continuously always assessing for opportunities to fund special projects. And I always like to take a moment to recognize any of the work done by the foundation in service to students here in NVUSD. And we want to thank the the Freed Family Fund, a donor provided some funding to support environmental science and gardening programs across the district. So thank you to the Napa Valley Community Foundation. And then also, I just, before I dive into my formal report here, I hope that Assistant Superintendent Dana Page feels recognized and prideful. The work of your department during the employee recognition event was just absolutely gold standard, and it is a manifestation of our organizational value where we pursue excellence. So thank you so much for manifesting excellence as an HR team. So over the past several weeks, I've remained focused on advancing the district's strategic priorities through ongoing statewide advocacy and collaboration with district and school site leaders in our organization. I served as a panelist during a discussion facilitated by West Ed at the 2026 AXA Superintendent Symposium a couple of weeks ago in Southern California. Our discussion was focused on enrollment-based funding versus ADA funding and served as an advocacy opportunity to improve California's school finance system. This idea, concept, potential reform to California school funding is gaining some traction. This session provided valuable insight as districts statewide continue to navigate declining enrollment trends, attendance challenges, and long-term fiscal stability. Just read the newspaper. There are so many districts that are under financial distress. Very, very grateful that we are as stable as we are. But I do know, despite our stability, that enrollment-based funding would have tremendous positive impacts for NVUSD. So I will continue to work with Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala to advocate at the statewide level for changes in school funding that would best serve students here in Napa Valley Unified School District and in public school systems across the state of California. In alignment with Strategy 3 of our strategic plan that focuses on cultivating a data-driven culture within our school district, Dr. Reddy, Executive Director Matt Manning, and Executive Director Dr. Peter Aboud, and myself continued our ongoing data dialogue sessions. This is our second year implementing this practice with NVUSD principals, where we learned that our schools, very exciting, across the system are pretty much on track to continue to make positive growth on state accountability markers based on student performance on the Winter Star assessment when comparing to last year and the growth we're expecting based on last year's 2025 performance. These meetings with 3 to 4 principals at a time are focused on strengthening instructional leadership, identifying emerging trends in their local school achievement data, and using data to guide decision-making at both the district and site level for the spring during this final stretch of the 25-26 school year. These collaborative conversations are essential to ensuring that our improvement efforts remain aligned, strategic, and responsive to students' needs. I know much of the planned site-based professional learning that will be taking place during the district-wide Professional Development Day on March 6th will provide opportunities across our schools to support our teachers who are focused on instructional improvement across the content areas. And I just want to recognize the work of Dr. Reddy, Instructional Support Services. Even though the Site Professional Learning Day has moved to being site-based, it still requires a lot of coordination to ensure that that time is being used in alignment with district priorities and goals. Our senior team also convened productive meetings with our strategic plan, what we call strategy leads. We met with all of the individuals responsible for leading the 15 key strategies within the NVUSD 2024-2029 strategic plan. This is the second round this year of meeting with those strategies leads in what we called milestone meetings. These milestone meetings provide an opportunity to assess progress, identify implementation needs, strengthen cross-department and cross-division collaboration, and ensure that our work remains focused on measurable outcomes that you've laid out in our strategic plan. The collective leadership of these strategy leads continues to be a critical driver of progress as we move forward with district-wide improvement efforts. A vital component of this progress is measuring the real-world impact of these efforts, and I am thrilled to announce that we received over 3,000 parent responses and over 4,000 student responses on the annual benchmark survey. This incredible level of participation demonstrates the deep commitment of our students, staff, families, and community, the deep commitment that they have to the success and well-being of our students. Your feedback helps us sharpen our focus, prioritize key initiatives, and ensure that every effort we make is creating a meaningful difference in our classrooms. We are currently in the process of updating our public dashboard to reflect this second year of benchmark data. The 2025-2026 data will be available on nvusd.org on Wednesday, February 18th. And I want to thank our Chief Communications Officer, Julie Bordes, who organizes this huge, kind of feedback mechanism of the annual benchmark survey for all of her hard work and leadership, and increasing our response rate. It was high last year, but it's even higher this year, which is fantastic. And so finally, I just remain grateful for the dedication of our site leaders, our principals, our assistant principals, our teachers, our district leaders, and community partners as we continue working together to advance excellence and opportunity for every NVUSD student as we're in this mid-year mark. So lastly, one last note, I do want to thank the school board. Many of you mentioned our superintendent midterm evaluation session last week, and I just want to thank you so much for your meaningful questions, your affirming feedback, your constructive feedback, and the time that you invest in those sessions. It means a lot to me to bring clarity to the work that me and my team are leading and advancing here in the school district. And I know it requires you to invest kind of an extra dose of time. And so thank you so much for that investment, because it does really bring a lot of clarity and effectiveness to the work me and my team are implementing in service to the school board, but of course, ultimately in service to our students. So with that, we're going to hear from the assistant superintendents. And we'll start with all sparkles, not tonight, but once a year, Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Thank you. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Representative Fish Leader, and Dr. Massetti. On February 3rd, HR represented NVUSD at an informational meeting at Sonoma State University for the residency program, along with 6 other districts who also host similar residency programs. It was well attended with close to 30 potential candidates who are interested in this unique opportunity to spend a year in a classroom learning alongside a master teacher. This school year, we had 6 residents, and we look forward to hosting more next year. This has been a very successful way to staff hard-to-fill positions like dual immersion, science, and math, and with some very well-prepared teachers. Tonight's board agenda includes the resolution to release temporary certificated employees. Although this is an annual process and not unexpected for our temporary staff, it remains challenging to know that your assignment will conclude this year and that the district may or may not have a position available for you next year. So I would like to take a moment to extend my appreciation to all of our temporary employees for your contributions during your time with NVUSD. While your temporary assignment will end at the close of the year, this does not lessen the positive impact that you have made on your students and colleagues. Your hard work and dedication are sincerely valued. I'd like to thank everyone who already took this year's Well-Being at Work survey. Currently, our response rate stands at 40.9% of employees, which is just over the participation rate from last year. The survey is open until March 6th, and we encourage anyone who hasn't taken it already to provide their feedback. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Next, we have Dr. Monica Reddy, who oversees the Instructional Support Division.
Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Dr. Massetti, Student Board Member Fish Leader, and NVUSD community. The Instructional and Data Services team will present the LCAP mid-year report later on the agenda, so my staff report will be short this evening. I would like to congratulate the NVUSD Library Services team for their publication featured on the cover of Knowledge Quest December-January edition. This recognition marked the first time a California school district has been highlighted by the Association of American School Librarians, a division of the American Library Association. Being selected for both the magazine cover and a featured article represents a significant national distinction. This honor reflects the strong collaboration, support, and partnership with the Napa County Library. In addition, NVUSD is featured on the California State Library Success Card webpage as a model district for implementing SB 321, the Student Success Act, highlighting the district's leadership and effective library partnerships at the state level. I have copies for the trustees. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. We look forward to hearing from you this evening. And last but not least, we have Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees business and operational services.
Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. The business services team is concurrently getting ready for second interim and for budget adoption. We are excited about some of the proposals in next year's budget, including the proposal to expand the community schools program to include all schools with an unduplicated count of 65%. So this would also make funding for these programs permanent. You know, we're very excited because it could expand the program to about 17 of our schools. Still just a proposal. Lots of changes will happen between now and when the budget is finally adopted. I think the biggest change that we're seeing here is a move back to categorical funding. So this is not money that we can spend on anything highly restricted. We have, I think, is it 6 schools or is it 5 schools? 6 schools that currently qualify. They would also continue to qualify and they would be funded at the same rate or higher. So a pretty substantial change for our school funding. In the enrollment department, the enrollment team has wrapped up another successful open enrollment season and is focused on preparing for the 26-27 school year. The enrollment office will be partnering with the Instructional Services Division to support sites in the development of master schedules and classroom configurations throughout the spring. In food services, NOSH will feature a new menu item, carrot salad, as part of Harvest of the Month. This item will be found on our salad bars. NOSH is also being recognized at the Recycling Leadership Awards on March 19th by the City of Napa due to demonstrated leadership in reducing landfill use, composting efforts, and recycling. Maintenance and grounds are hard at work preparing for the upcoming baseball, softball, and swim seasons. We continue to partner with NBSIA, who is also conducting our monthly safety meeting for the maintenance and grounds team. Maintenance and grounds is also preparing for the upcoming spring break with several projects scheduled to start to be completed prior to students returning from spring break. The operation teams continue to prioritize safety and site excellence and also participating in monthly safety trainings by NBSIA. In addition, the team remains committed to maintaining high standards of cleanliness, ensuring our school sites are safe and welcoming. Our warehouse department remains a critical support arm to support operations, managing timely deliveries, moving equipment and furniture, and preparing materials for upcoming events. So for research, data, and assessment services, our data services team is already starting to prepare for the 26-27 school year. Open enrollment decisions have been processed in areas and secondary sites, beginning the master scheduling process. State testing season is also upon us. District LPAC testers have already been deployed to sites. The tech team has been busy with summer project planning, supporting district staff and students with assessment preparation, and finalizing the new NVUSD AI guidelines and board policy alignment, which is designed to give all district stakeholders guidance and direction around NVUSD policies and expectations when using AI for school and work. Look for an introduction presentation of the new policy in March. In the transportation department, we're currently preparing for summer school. We'll be updating our transportation plan. At the March meeting, there'll be that will be brought to the board. We're also evaluating our current routes to see how we can increase transportation services support without increasing our routes or our staffing. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Manguala. President Chu, that concludes staff reports for the evening.
Great, thank you. We are now on to item H4, Facilities and Bond Program Update.
Thank you, trustees and Dr. Massetti, for having me back.
Feels like I just spoke.
I'm also spoiled, I'll confess. Some of my other clients get sick of me going, well, this is how we do it in Napa. So speaking of the gold standard, we'll give you a quick update on where we're at with facilities. All right, so the agenda for tonight is speaking a little bit about an item for audit, change orders and ad services, some lease-leaseback procurement, and then a very quick update on communications. All right, one of the contracts on the board agenda for tonight is for SFP audits. This is the state audit program for the facilities program that we receive funding for. This is not part of the bond. This is the outside money that we receive for the applications we put in over several years. A part of that process, once we receive that money, is doing a performance audit to see if the paperwork and the bidding requirements and everything was met per the standards for the state of California. So we'll be moving forward with that. Next slide. Oh, okay, go ahead.
My favorite type of change order. So this change order is, I think we spoke about this in depth. So it takes a while to get the final billing done from summer. So here we are in February, it feels like going on March. But we have our final billing done, and ta-da, the grand total where we are under was $3.9 million. Is that right? Yeah. So we definitely over-delivered, and we did it much quicker than anyone could have possibly imagined. And with the two change orders, it's closer to $4 million. So $4 million under budget for all the work that was done last summer. So we're very happy about that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We'll give you a standing ovation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. we couldn't have done it without your support. So again, and the communities, we're very, very excited about that. And again, our plan has been all along to spend money. It's again, counter to what CBUs typically do, but spend money as fast as we can and get really good competitive pricing. Again, we've definitely over-delivered. I think as you start to see the summary, especially my other favorite thing you talk about, which is paving. I mean, we have paved almost all the elementary schools, so it's kind of, we've gotten really, really competitive pricing, especially by doing things off schedule. So we have more to go, and they're kind of, we either have paved or will pave as a part of a playground replacement, almost all of them that needed. So pretty significant. Alta Heights is being paved this weekend, by the way. So I literally had a conversation with Ted about it about 2 weeks ago, and we met the pavement guy out there that we're using. We started planning, and there's a weather window on Saturday to get that done. So we're pretty excited that we continue to be able to do these things. And what comes with that also is new paint, which looks amazing. So if you get a chance when you're out there, look at some of the playgrounds that have been repaved and repainting, just the color. And what we've been doing too is Albert's team has been working really hard to provide new equipment, like new basketball hoops and new backboards, and getting rid of all that old rusty stuff. It just looks amazing. Next slide.
Before we go on, I just did want to quickly thank our partner who was Core Construction on that project, and they were really mindful of the budget. So we do really appreciate that. All right, so other consent items. So we do have the good old-fashioned kind of change orders where we spend money. We are, I know. Yes, and it exceeds the cost of these ads that we have to do, but we are going to do a final small change order at Canyon Oaks for the portables. We'll be doing, closing out the Agricultural Science and Technology Innovation Center. So we're looking forward to getting that project wrapped up. It's been a long time coming. And then some change order work over at the campus mods that happened for Measure A2 at American Canyon. All right. We are going to be procuring the HVAC equipment for the large projects for this summer. So Napa and Vintage, and as well as Stonebridge and Valley Oak are all going to be purchasing their HVAC equipment. If you recall, last month we did Redwood. So we're going to be completely bought out on HVAC equipment early in the year, hoping to avoid all those long lead times.
And as a reminder, you'll continue to see these changes as we get ready for the summer. So the next one would be the guaranteed maximum price, is that right? Yes.
All right, so we have been engaging in quite a bit of feedback with the campuses, and we've been working on trying to find opportunities to involve the site on making decisions, when we can on the projects. So recently, we visited Vichy Elementary and engaged with their parents about their parking lot redesign. And we're actually really grateful. They gave us tremendous insight, and the design team was able to go back and retool some of the designs according to the feedback they gave us about pickup and drop off. And it was really, really productive work with that group. So we appreciate everyone who came. At playground upgrades, we are meeting with each individual principal and inviting them to bring in some of their team so that they can pick the color schemes of their new play structures and pick some of the elements so that it can be sort of feel customized for each one of the sites. So that was pretty nice too. And we got a lot of grateful feedback from the sites for getting them involved, which always feels great. Normally we're there making things worse. Well, we do construction, so it's nice to have some good feedback. And then site planning, we will be meeting with all of the sites that are impacted by the campus mods, talk about what that looks like, closures and all that kind of stuff coming up in the next few weeks. So next slide. And that's it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're all very happy about that.
Yes.
All right, we are now on to agenda item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call votes unless discussion of items is requested by a board member.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Roll call vote, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Xu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item J, presentations and discussion items. J1, general services. J1A, introduction to California School Board Association recommended November 2025 policy updates.
Not too much to comment. I just want to thank the policy committee for their initial review. This packet is being brought for review and today an introduction, and then will be an action item at the next meeting.
Great. All right. Item J2, instructional services. J2A, 2025-2026 LCAP mid-year progress update report.
Okay. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member Fish Leader, and Superintendent Dr. Musetti. Tonight, Dr. Aboud and I will present a mid-year progress update, which includes year-to-date outcomes and data related to metrics identified in the current year's LCAP, mid-year expenditures, and actions to address the metrics. So this is the LCAP development timeline. Every school year, the local educational agencies are required to present a mid-year progress report for before February 2028. So this is our mid-year report. And we're required to give an update on where we are with our LCFFF expenditures. The LCFF base grant is an allocated per student funding, just as a reminder, with a grade span adjustment. So supplemental and concentration funding is an add-on adjustment based on the number of students considered multilingual learners, low income, and or foster youth. So if a student qualifies in more than one category, they are only counted once. Tonight, we'll provide an update on the overall spending by goal. The 2025-2026 LCAP includes 5 goals. Tonight, we will report out on 4 goals that are applicable to all schools. The goals are aligned to the strategic plan, and the 5th goal is specific to Valley Oak High School, and I'll explain why one school in particular has a goal later in the presentation. During previous meetings, we have shared California dashboard data to the board. This evening, we will provide disaggregated data for subgroups, available mid-year data outcomes, and available mid-year expenditures. Note that some of the goals don't have data at this particular point in the year, but that will be provided later in the year when we present the LCAP for 2026-2027. So LCAP goal number 1, students will graduate college and career ready. We have 4 areas that we focus on in this particular goal. That's language and literacy support, math program support, comprehensive assessment systems, and work-based learning experiences. These actions are aligned to 3 of the strategies in our strategic plan. So strategy 1 focused on instructional framework, strategy 2 focused on career-aligned real-world learning, and then strategy 3, our comprehensive assessment framework, so our focus on data. Our current spending is around $6.4 million. And you see that on each of the slides. And with that, I will hand it over to Dr. Aboud.
All right, good evening, everyone. For the LCAP mid-year presentation this year, we have 3 years of data, and for nearly all the data points, we will report the data out for our overall student population, as well as the student groups which are highlighted on the California dashboard. This slide displays our English language arts CASP data. The percentages you see represent the percentage of students who scored at standard met or exceeded on the state assessment. You can see that our overall population increased by 4 percentage points from last year to the prior year, which we have shared with the board in the past. But you can also now see how our student groups are performing. All of our student groups are either showing some form of growth or remaining relatively stable, but these student groups are underperforming compared to that overall population. Here are the results for the math CASP. As we've shared before, our overall population increased by about 2 percentage points. And just like with English language arts, our student groups are showing growth or remaining relatively stable, but are performing at that lower level. Here we have the science data. We did improve from last year to the year prior to that by 2 percentage points. And the results for our student groups are a little bit mixed, but we do see great improvements for our students who are in temporary housing. Last spring, we had over twice the percentage of students scoring at standard met or exceeded compared to the prior year. This slide shows our STAR reading data for the last 3 spring screening windows. These are the percentages of students who performed at the standard met or exceeded level based on the state benchmarks, which are designed to predict performance on the CASP. We see the data trending upwards for most student groups, with the exception of foster youth and students in temporary housing. And here is the same data for our STAR math assessment. Overall, we're trending upwards, but we see the same pattern where our student groups are not quite yet performing at the same level as the overall population. As part of our mid-year update, we also wanted to share some of the mid-year data with you. This slide shows the percentage of students who scored at standard met or exceeded on both STAR reading and math and STAR math during our winter screening window. We've displayed only grades 3 through 8 and 11, since these are the grade levels tested on the CASP. The STAR data, based on the state benchmark, typically mirrors how students will perform on the CASP. And as you can see on that bottom row, that 48.4% of students are expected to perform at standard met or exceeded in English language arts, and 32.7% in math. These are both increases compared to last spring's CASP data, which is very promising. And as Dr. Musetti mentioned earlier in her board report, when we look at this data by school site, when we looked at the data by school site during the data dialogues, we saw that our sites are on track for growth on CASP. So we're very pleased with that. And this slide shows, again, for STAR reading, this slide looks just at ELA by student group and compares last year's spring STAR data to last December's STAR data. So again, that STAR data is that predictor of CASP. And we can see that overall we're ahead by 3.7%, and nearly all student groups are also showing some form of improvement. Again, the exception being our multilingual learners and students in temporary housing. And here's that same data for math. Again, we're comparing last spring's CASP data to the STAR data, which is supposed to be, or we know is predictive to CASP, but we've seen that over the last several years. And we're 3 percentage points ahead in math, and all of our student groups are showing signs of growth from the prior year. And let's give it back to you, Monica.
Thank you, Dr. Boone. The data shows that we are on track to make incremental growth, and mid-year, this is the first time that we have had this in a couple of years. This evening, I will speak to 5 strategies. There are many strategies in our LCAP, and so this evening, I'll speak to 5 of those that we attribute to this progress, specifically early literacy, guaranteed and viable curriculum, professional learning and coaching in mathematics, tiered prevention and intervention, and then engaging with our leaders, as Dr. Boone mentioned, in data dialogues. So first, early literacy continues to be an area of focus. Letters Cohort 3 and Community Schools Letters Cohort and Early Childhood Cohort is engaged in year 2. That's their final year of letters training. And again, just as a reminder, this is an extensive 2-year training process in the science of reading for our teachers of early learners, although we also have teachers in grades 3 through 5 that join in that. Letters Cohort 4 and Magnet Schools Cohort launched year 1 of letters training this year. And I think the most important part that as we implement letters within the classroom, or the science of reading within the classroom, is that we want to ensure, because we're seeing growth as a result of this implementation, there's been a high investment in this financially, and also with the hours and time that our teachers have put in, that we sustain it. So this year has really focused on ensuring that they have the support to continue to implement, and I know the board has been able to deeply engage in that at Napa Junction Elementary School. So that work is happening at each of the elementary schools. The elementary school sites have developed comprehensive planning checklists around the language comprehension, and school site teams are participating in monthly school site literacy walkthroughs with a common tool. Just this morning, our entire principal team, including our secondary principals, participated in learning walks across the 3 American Canyon schools. And in debriefing, even with some of our secondary leaders at the middle and high school, found that incredibly valuable learning for them to see how they can engage in reading comprehension throughout the grade levels. Second, we're focusing on ensuring students have access to rigorous grade level teaching and learning. This was an area of growth at mid-year last year. When we looked at the data last year, we weren't seeing that incremental improvement with our students, and we realized that Our teaching at rigorous grade level was not happening in the manner that we wanted it to, was happening in pockets. And so we made an adjustment to really look at the pacing and ensure that the task and the priority standards were at grade level. So we are happy to see that this progress, that this identifying this problem and then working to improve that is having results. So in order to ensure that that continues, we have the priority standards, we have the proficiency scales that tell us where students should be learning and how we assess that, especially in English and math. So this year we're monitoring that more closely and feel like we have methods to do that. Our elementary principals are reviewing learning sprints, pacing, and common assessment data, and our secondary principals are conducting what we call guarantee and viable checks with their leadership teams. So they sit down and talk to their PLC or their department leaders about where they are in pacing, where they're struggling with pacing, and how to make adjustments, and then bring that to our principal learning and engage with their colleagues and review, reflection, and have opportunities for coaching from some of our district HOSA team. Our math results, although incrementally improving, which we're proud of, still require ongoing focused attention. Elementary teachers are using a math instructional guide that was developed this summer to support alignment between the math lessons and the NVUSD priority standards, because the lesson doesn't always necessarily align if you just teach it the way that it is written. So they are using those to guide their pacing and identify important lessons that would strengthen their instructional planning. And an external math coach and math TOSA are providing grade level team instructional design support. So they go out to specific grade levels and work with a team of teachers for a day and backwards map through and look at using the curriculum such as bridges. The teachers engaged in this work are reporting really positive feedback. And so we look to scale this support in 26-27. So I can, for multiple grade levels, even up to the secondary. Math intervention expanded this fall through partnerships with Sylvan and NVUSD teachers. As we've shared, 13 schools had over 20 teachers work with students to provide curriculum-based intervention in math. This is important. We focus our intervention time during the school day in elementary on literacy, and so ensuring that we can have math intervention through our ELOP program where we have additional funding is important. We are evaluating the effectiveness of the changes made in that school programming to support math intervention, and we'll look to make adjustments in 26-27 based on that data to continue to support students in both subject areas, especially at the elementary level. We've also expanded that to secondary for students who are struggling in mathematics, so all of our secondary schools have after-school support in math or before-school support in math. All schools are trained and are currently at various stages of implementing IXL math. Principals had to develop an IXL implementation plan and are receiving ongoing IXL data training through our principal learning to support all students using IXL, the recommended 30 minutes per week. IXL is an in-classroom support. Students can also use it outside of school. It is an online platform and it is skills-based, so a student can see priority standards that they are not being successful, type that in, for example, domain and range, and then have practice problems that also provide them feedback. So it's called very skills-based and aligned, and it can be assigned by teachers. So we have early results that show students who engage in the recommended amount of IXL are making greater progress than those who do not. We'll continue to monitor that. That is in its pilot phase. It is a new platform for us, so we will continue to monitor the STAR data before making a recommendation for 26-27. And lastly, principals continue to engage with the executive team in data dialogues. I appreciate the dedicated time that our leaders and our executive team are putting into this process. We moved the winter STAR assessment in order to support more strategic mid-year reflection and adjustment. The first 2 data dialogues in year 2 have successfully transitioned from that foundational awareness around assessment data that we established last year, just bringing attention and awareness to the importance of these assessments to see how students are doing on track as they move through our TK-12 system. And then as we look to year 2, we're seeing movement beyond what the data is to how we respond to that data. So dialogues are currently centered on the health of our guaranteed and viable curriculum, the efficacy of PLC assessment data, and the consistency of that progress monitoring. And principals are slowly expanding their usage of CASP-aligned assessments called FIABs, and will respond immediately with training, support, and coaching. In response to that need, it will be a session offered during our March Professional Learning Day. So these opportunities to sit down with our leaders allow us to immediately respond to data trends and needs that they have in the system. I think I'm next. No?
Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the slides that look at the college and career readiness data points that we have in the LCAP. So this one looks at the college and career indicator. This slide shows the percentage of our graduates over the last 3 years who are considered college and career ready. You may remember from a previous presentation about the dashboard that there are several different ways that students can be considered college and career ready, including completing A through G graduation requirements, performance on the CASP, passing AP exams, completion of CTE pathways, etc. Overall, we are trending upwards, and some of our student groups are also trending upwards, while others are showing mixed results. This shows our graduation rate, our overall graduation rate, which represents the percentage of students who graduate with what is considered a regular high school diploma. It does not include students who graduate with a certificate of completion, which applies to some of our students with IEPs. Our graduation rate has been and continues to be very high compared to the state. Our rate is typically in the 90s, while the state graduation rate typically hovers around the mid-80s. All of our student groups also have high graduation rates, although they are slightly lower than our overall population. And this is the A through G completion rate. This represents the percentage of students who graduate each year having completed certain course requirements with a C- or better, making them eligible for admission into a UC or CSU college. NVUSD's high school graduation requirements are the same as the A through G requirements, but we see students passing these classes with a D, which earns them a high school diploma but does not meet the A through G criteria. So for that reason, we see a very high graduation rate in this district, but a lower A through G completion rate. And you can see that this has been trending downwards over the last few years. I do also want to note that the A through G completion rate does have a significant impact on the overall college and career indicator that I spoke to on an earlier slide. So this is something we'll need to tend to. This is the percentage of students who have completed a career technical education or CTE pathway, and this is also generally trending upwards. And this is the percentage of students who earn the Seal of Biliteracy, which is an award where students demonstrate proficiency in both English and another language. And there's a number of ways that students can do that, and this data point is also generally trending upwards.
So this fall, NVUSD is focused on moving from individual efforts to coherent district-wide systems that support college and career readiness. We have reached a significant milestone by finalizing the area's academic plans for every student in grades 9 through 12. Each student now has a documented 4-year roadmap that ensures they are meeting both graduation requirements and college eligibility standards. These plans are more than just checklists. They are the engine for an upcoming master schedule season. By capturing high-quality course requests, now we can ensure our staffing and pathways are directly aligned with student aspirations and equitable access to college and career. I have to thank our counseling team. This was a tremendous lift in the fall to have every single 9th, 10th, and 11th grade student enter a 4-year plan into Aries for the first time. Another major highlight of the season was the successful rollout of the California College Guidance Initiative. Our 12th grade counselors worked hand in hand with seniors to navigate the California Colleges platform during the height of application season. For the first time, this system provides the district with a clear window into the UC and CSU application trends. This visibility allows us to see exactly where students are aiming, providing a valuable baseline that will help us support them more effectively once acceptance letters arrive this spring. CCGI is also a career readiness platform. We have transitioned from Naviance to CCGI, the middle school counselors, and we've expanded that back down to our 6th through 8th grade. So previously we had Naviance in middle school and it went away, and now we're implementing CCGI 6th through 12th grade. So the middle school counselors have developed a scope and sequence. They did this during our fall professional development day. This brings career-aligned lessons to our 6th through 8th graders, and they are starting to engage in those lessons. And today we trained our principals on what they can expect with that scope and sequence for our middle schoolers. Our high school counselors were busy with the Aries academic plans in the fall, so they are currently developing a scope and sequence in preparation for 2026-2027 that our 9th through 12th graders will engage with to support their career awareness. We're seeing a marked increase in students applying to STARS network colleges. As I prepared this presentation, it was not lost on me that it has only been a year since our superintendent brought this to our college and career readiness team, and the work that they have done in partnership with the STARS network has been tremendous and is opening doors for our students. This partnership is providing our students with exposure to elite institutions through student fly-in programs. To better guide our students, our counselors have opportunities to engage in fly-in programs. And then we're expanding our Parent College Readiness series through STARS Network webinars that are ongoing. This month marks the second cohort of juniors to receive their offer for college counseling provided by the STARS counseling team out of the University of Chicago. So our juniors just last week received those invitations. The College and Career Readiness team has lastly defined career technical education pathways with the 5 high schools. The criteria for pathways balances the NVUSD strategic plan with the Golden State Pathways program outcomes. The criteria used to analyze and determine next steps with current pathways and support the development of new pathways. Our goal is to have strong, aligned programs that afford students the opportunity to engage in careers in our community and across the region, and even more broadly across national landscapes. Based on that analysis, the College and Career Readiness team is working with the high schools to build master schedules that support strengthening our current pathways that will remain in place and continuing to develop new pathways in alignment. So one example would be the pathway of the viticulture pathway at Vintage High School. Although there is much to celebrate in the area of college and career readiness, one area of growth is ensuring our students meet their A to G requirements. Students fall off track in the transition from 8th grade, so we are strategically targeting that transition from 8th to 9th grade through a collaborative that we have been invited to called On Track. When you look at our graduation rate and you see our A to G rate, there's a gap, and that means we have what's called the case of the D. Students are completing their classes with a D, but they're unable to apply to college. And so through On Track, that collaborative started with our Napa High School and Silverado Middle School staff in English language arts and math, because those tend to be the 2 subject areas where students fall off track in that transition and are incredibly hard to make up if that pattern continues. We are expanding this year to Redwood Middle School and Vintage High School, and those staff members have started to engage in that work. And we have been invited to expand that to American Canyon Middle School and American Canyon High School starting in the fall. This work helps us look at how we grade and ensure that there is a focus on students to have multiple opportunities to master their learning and that their grade reflects that learning. We have much improvement to make in this area, and so we'll continue to provide updates on how that is going. Thanks. Okay. LCAP goal number 2 focuses on high impact tier 1 instruction and targets actions that support our multilingual learners. These actions align to strategies 1 and 6 as we focus on developing the instructional framework and aligning professional learning throughout the system. Similarly, we monitor LCAP with strategic plan indicators for CASP, intervention data, and reclassification, which Dr. Bood will go over.
Okay, oops. All right. So this slide looks at our English learner progress, and so this is one of the indicators that's on the California dashboard. This indicates the percentage of English learners or multilingual learners who are increasing by at least 1 English learner performance indicator level on the LPAC from one year to the next, or it includes students who are at that highest level and are maintaining that level. So you can see that the percentage of our ELs making progress increased slightly compared to the prior year, but it is still a little bit lower than where it was in 22-23. And also over the last 2 years, the state has been looking at this indicator specific to our long-term English learners, or LTELs, and the percentage of LTELs making progress in NVUSD this last year increased by 10 percentage points compared to the previous year. And then this is our reclassification rate. This is the percentage of English learners who we reclassify annually as English proficient. In order to be reclassified, students need to earn the highest score possible on the LPAC, as well as meet local criteria. And so for NVUSD, this is typically performance on the STAR reading assessment. And our reclassification rate has been strong at 11 or 12% over the last 2 years, or 3 years. When we look at our reclassification rate so far this year, we are at 8.6%, which is 2.6% short from last year. This number may go up slightly, but there is a possibility that it will be a little bit lower than where it was last year. This is due to a shift in the state's guidance for reclassifying students who are English learners and also receive special education services. The new guidance provides us with less flexibility for this unique population of students, which is resulting in fewer of them reclassifying. So we're aware of that being a factor in this number as we move forward. Back to you.
Okay, we launched the design of a TK-12 instructional framework in August of 2025 with approximately 100 teachers. Throughout the fall semester, the High Impact Instructional Team, HIT, as they like to call themselves, engaged in a deep study of the I do phase of the gradual release of responsibility with a strong emphasis on direct modeling. One of the areas that we've noticed in classrooms that we need to attune to is students being able to see a full model and a lesson before engaging in that work in groups or independently. We're beginning to see encouraging early results, especially in mathematics. At the elementary level, students receiving math instruction from HIT teachers are outperforming their peers by 2.42%. based on the fall to winter STAR data. And at the secondary level, students in math classes taught by HIT teachers are outperforming all other students by just over 5%. These early indicators reinforce the impact of focused, consistent instructional practices. And based on this data, we're offering sessions in which all elementary school sites can opt in during the March 6th Professional Learning Day, and considering how we expand this work in the fall semester of 2026. Based on our MLL and LTL long-term, our multilingual learner and our long-term English language learner data, designated ELD continues to be a TK-12 focus. A new action is elementary designated. Last year, we really looked at, do we have designated ELD blocks within all of our elementary schools? And now that those are really solidified, we have to look at what is happening during that time and ensure that the quality of teaching and learning happening during designated ELD is helping our students make progress. So in an effort to do that, a new action is elementary designated ELD learning walks. Our Director of Multilingual Learner Services, Dr. Uribe, just launched these. Are underway starting in January and will continue throughout the spring. She, along with site staff, are engaging in learning walks together, focused on identifying exemplary classroom conditions and instructional practices that support our multilingual learners' access to rigorous learning. Staff provide individual feedback to each teacher on those walks, highlighting strengths and offering suggestions to further deepen student learning. Our goal in elementary school is to ensure students reclassify before leaving elementary so that they do not matriculate to middle and high school as long-term English language learners. When you look at our LTL data, it reveals an urgent need to expand our support. So in addition to ensuring that students do not leave elementary school as long-term English language learners, because many of them have been in our system since kindergarten, our goal is to really support those that matriculate up and ensure that they're able to reclassify as soon as possible. So in early December, the Summit K-12 pilot launched with strong participation from educators across all grade levels. This digital tool is designed to support our long-term English language learners in building English proficiency across listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We have classes offered to our long-term English language learners across our secondary schools. And the pilot team will reconvene in the spring to analyze our student data and determine next steps with this program. A standout feature of the program that was presented to our DLAC recently is that each student license includes 4 additional home licenses, enabling their family members to participate in English alongside their students, extending language learning beyond the classroom for our families and our students. So our DLAC was trained on that at their last meeting. Oops. Too many things to click in the direction. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Okay, goal number 3. Families will experience robust communication, engagement, and advocacy. This is a goal that aligns to Strategy 4 and Strategy 10. We measure this goal with the annual benchmark survey that Dr. Musetti mentioned in her report this evening. We've spent approximately $1.8 million in this area. Our benchmark survey, annual benchmark survey closed recently, and so we have over 3,000 family participants, and we look forward to reviewing this data. This will inform our upcoming 26-27 LCAP. It is one of our educational partner inputs that we look at year to year, so this will be included in the LCAP presentation later this year, but not this evening. So goal number 4 is students will thrive socially, emotionally, and academically. The areas that we focus on for goal number 4 is our student wellness and support programs, our MTSS process, so our multi-tiered system of supports, inclusive and welcoming schools, and safety. These align to our strategic plan strategies, strategy 3, 4, 5, and 7. Growth is measured in alignment with strategic plan indicators, including chronic absenteeism, suspension rates, and our California Healthy Kids Survey. Tonight, I will provide a more detailed analysis of the California Healthy Kids Survey data. The nature of the questions lends to a more nuanced explanation of how our students report connectedness and belonging. The California Healthy Kids Survey asks a series of questions to 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th grade students within 4 domains. That's student learning engagement, student social, emotional, and physical well-being, school climate conditions, and school climate improvement practices. There are 2 indicators within that series of questions that we report out on in the LCAP, and the first one is student connectedness. So you can see that we consistently have about low 70% of our students that say they feel connected in the 5th grade to school. We look at the state average, and they average that over 3 years. So from 2023 to 2025, the state was at 74%. So we're near or on par with the state in this area for our 5th graders. As we look more closely at the questions that lead to this particular outcome, they ask, do you feel close to people at the school? Are you happy to be at the school? Do you feel like you're a part of the school? Do teachers treat students fairly? And do you feel safe at the school? The way that this is measured is students respond. They have 4 options. So no, never, yes, some of the time, yes, most of the time, and yes, all of the time. So although 74% of our students report, you can see that there are very few students that say no, never, that they feel like they are not close to people at the school. We always want that to be 0, but you can see that the majority of our students have some sort of connection. Are you happy to be at this school? We see similar data trends with most of our students reporting out yes most of the time and yes all of the time, with some of our students reporting out yes some of the time and very few saying no, never. Do you feel like you're a part of the school? Similarly, we see some high results of students that report out all the time or most of the time, some of the time, and then no, never. So these continue to be pretty consistent across our 5th grade. Similarly, do teachers treat students fairly? We see some similar results with most students having some report that they have, they feel like they are a part, that they're, I'm on the wrong one, there we go, that they are treated fairly in 5th grade. This one tends to be a little bit higher than the previous indicators. And lastly, do you feel safe at the school? This gives me a lot of security knowing that our students, the majority of our students, do feel safe most of the time at our schools. And I think this speaks to a lot of the work that happens with our elementary school staff and the implementation of some of the practices that we put in place consistently. For our secondary, the questions look a little bit different, but they're very similar. They're more statements than questions. You can see that we consistently score a little bit higher than the state average with our secondary schools and continue to improve in the area of connectedness. And this is in 7th, 9th, and 11th grade. Similarly, these aren't questions or statements, but it's similar perspective data from our students around if they feel close to people at school, if they're happy to be at school, they feel like they're a part of the school, they feel like they're treated fairly, and they're safe in their school. These are statements are reported out a little bit differently. So it's on a Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And so although about half of our students report out that way, you can see that there is a particular population of students that say they neither disagree or agree. So that overall data looks a little bit different when you break it down at this level. We do have larger populations of students who say they agree and strongly agree, with fewer students who strongly disagree. And this is consistent across this indicator as we look at these questions. So similarly, I'm happy to be at school. You can see that in this particular indicator, we have a little bit of a drop in neither disagree nor agree, and agree, but an increase in strongly agree. And that's consistently a pattern across 11th grade. But you can see it's pretty consistent from 7th, 9th, and 11th grade, being a little bit lower in 7th. Similarly, I feel like I'm a part of this school. We are seeing pretty consistent agree, strongly agree with fewer students. This is an area, especially in ninth grade, that we look at as students make that transition. We want to make sure that they feel like they're a part of the school. And so the California Healthy Kids Survey gives us one of those indicators. And the teachers at the school treat students fairly. We can see that especially students in 9th and 11th grade that agree and strongly agree are higher. But just similar trends and increase, you see the decrease in disagree and strongly disagree as students move into 9th and 11th grade. So middle school continues to be that area where we focus on as students are really grow a lot during those 3 years and trying to find their way, not just at school, but as a person, having been a middle school principal. I feel
know
safe.
exactly what you're talking about.
Are you having flashbacks?
I love middle school. You have to. I feel safe in my school, and you can see similar trends to our elementary school. It's pretty high for agree and disagree, especially in 9th and 11th grade. The second indicator that we look at specifically in the LCAP is caring relationships with adults. So similar, you can see a similar trend in 5th grade. It's consistent. It's a little bit, 1 percentage point nominally above the state. In this area, they ask 3 questions. Do the teachers and other grown-ups at your school care about you? Listen when you have something to say, and make an effort to get to know you. So similarly to the questions asked in the previous response around connectedness, it's no, never, yes, some of the time, yes, most of the time, and yes, all of the time. So when you look at this data here, you see that 70%. When it's broken down, you see that of those 30%, there are 18% that say yes some of the time. So most of our students, at least some of the time or more, feel like they have an adult at school that cares about them, and we know that this is really important to their success at school. Do the teachers and other grown-ups at the school listen when you have something to say? This one indicates as well that most of our students feel like yes, some of the time, very few feel like that they are not listened to. Similarly, do the teachers and the grown-ups at the school make an effort to get to know you? Little bit more on the no, never, but overall, generally, we see similar trends around at least some of the time, most of the time, or all the time students feel like they do. For 7th, 9th, and 11th grade, we have our 3-year data aligned to the LCAP, and you can see in our grades 7, 9, and 11 that we're consistently higher than or right at where the state average is for having caring relationships with adults in school. Similarly to the 5th grade data, instead of asking questions, it's statements. And so they want to know from our 7th, 9th, and 11th graders if there's a teacher or some other adult from my school who really cares about me, who notices when I'm not there, and who listens to me when I have something to say. So you can see there is a teacher or some other adult from my school who really cares about me. A little bit different in the way that students respond to this question. They mark not at all true, a little true, pretty much true, or very much true. So you can see the majority of our responses fall in that a little bit true, pretty much true, or very much true. Not at all true is a little bit higher than our previous questions around connectedness. So this may be an area for us to dive a little bit deeper into. There's a teacher or some other adult from my school who notices when I'm not there. This one's a little bit higher on the not at all true. I think this is a good indicator as we look at chronic absenteeism and our absenteeism data that helps us triangulate some of that. And although it is an anonymous survey, so we can't look more deeply into this indicator. We do have another survey that we use that we don't report on the LCAP, and that's called the SDQ. And so that can identify some of those internalizing behaviors, and maybe some of the students that follow some of these categories. There's a teacher or some other adult from my school who listens to me when I have something to say. We see improvement in this area with a little bit true and pretty much true and very much true higher than the other statements that our 7th, 9th, and 11th graders are asked. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Abood to look at suspensions.
Thank you. All right, so these are more indicators just related to culture and climate at a school site. And so this looks at our suspension rates from the last 3 years. These are the percentages of students who were suspended one or more times within that school year. And this is a data point that we want to see decrease. So the lower the number, the better in this case. Overall, we've been at 3 or 4% over the last few years, but you can see that our student groups are being suspended at higher rates than the overall population. And you can see that on this chart. And then when we look at the suspension rates so far for the school year, we can see that the overall population and for all of our student groups, the rate is less than it was last year. So we are trending in the right direction. With that said, we do still have 4 months of school remaining. And so these numbers do have the potential to increase between now and the end of the school year. So we just need to be monitoring these closely between now and June. And this is our chronic absenteeism data. Students are considered chronically absent if they miss 10% or more of the school year. And like the suspension data, this is a data point that we want to see decrease over time. Note that the California dashboard looks at this indicator only for students in grades K through 8, and so that's where we report on the LCAP to have that alignment. You can see that for our overall population, this is trending downward. We had an incredible decrease of 9% from the 22-23 to the 23-24 school year, and then continuing to decline slightly after that. Again, we want to see the numbers go down, but we do see that we have student groups who have higher chronic absenteeism rates than the overall population. And this is the chronic absenteeism rate to date. With the exception of foster youth who have the same rate as last year, all of our student groups are showing declines in this area, which is good news. So this is just another data point that we'll need to continue to monitor between now and the end of the school year. Back to you.
So in September, the NVUSD launched the Health and Wellness Committee. That is one of our strategies under student wellness and support programs. The committee is intentionally representative, bringing together educational partners from across the district. Throughout the fall, the committee engaged in a structured, interest-based problem-solving process to establish shared priorities and a common vision for student health and wellness. This was in response to one of our strategies that called for us to look at a sustainable model for our health and wellness programming. Members are examining what students need to thrive. They have refined a set of shared interests in that area, and they're exploring multiple framework options to assure alignment with these priorities. They incorporated feedback from our student advisory, which our student trustee is on, and included impact or input from our staff as well. This work is grounded in their lived experiences and their current practices. In December, the committee had an outlined framework, and currently a smaller work group is working through a more finalized comprehensive health and wellness framework. The framework includes, one of the changes that we've made that are important to note is really looking at how do we define health and wellness. It's more than mental health, although that's important. And so this committee has expanded our focus. There's lots of areas in NVUSD that we provide support to students and help them thrive. And so we are looking at exercise, nutrition, medical care, and emotional and social wellness. That's adapted from the 8 dimensions of wellness. And so this framework, once finalized close in February or March, will help us identify resource allocations and make some of those decisions around how do we support this. One of the areas that we're looking at is what can we guarantee and what can we have as we have more funding available. And the committee is really elevating the need for us to focus on Tier 1 and Tier 2 support. So what can we provide to all students, and then how do we more strategically provide support to small groups? And then as we get to students who need that one-on-one support, where can we partner and where can we outsource and where do we have availability? We have tremendous support in our community and relationships with organizations like Mentis and Aldea, On the Move in our community that help provide that more targeted support where we may not have the expertise or the funding to do that. Secondly, MTSS. We have award-winning MTSS, and as are moving into year 5 this year of having an MTSS system, it's really allowed us to pause and see how can the system evolve to continue to meet the needs of our teachers and our students and our families. And so our prevention and intervention director is leading this process, working collaboratively to look at what's working and what needs improved. 10 of our school sites are involved with their school site team. So every school site had to bring a team of staff with them from various aspects of their school. So counseling, social worker, teacher, and an administrator. In this process, if they committed to go through the pilot, and the school teams have come together throughout the fall to revise the MTSS process, which is needed then to support the implementation of a new platform. So prior to this year, we had multiple different ways of tracking our MTSS process. We have the data in Aries, but how those teams were meeting and how they were reporting out and how they were following up was different at each school site. So the implementation of EduClimber, which is the Renaissance product we're using, allows for consistency across our 26 schools. So one key shift in this process has been how we look at our multi-tiered process. The refinement of our tiers, so tier 1 being all students, tier 2 being a smaller group of students, and then tier 3 being that individualized need, is really allowing us to make some key shifts in how we serve students. So clarifying the roles and responsibilities of who serves what students at what level, and then really empowering us to use some of the systems that exist already around, such as our professional learning communities, our grade level teams, and strategically empower our staff who may have solutions in our system but may have not been a part of that process to really engage in it and use some creative solutions, and then also really looking at what structures within our school day do we have. So how do we use flex? How do we use response to intervention periods? How are we using our targeted times at our elementary schools for ELD or for intervention to really serve students with the staff we have on site? So our pilot schools have completed their EduClimber training and they launched their MTSS process in January. And then throughout this spring, we'll learn from them as they implement that. And then we will take that to scale in 2026, 2027, based off of the learning of our 10 pilot schools. Next, this fall, our progress in strengthening school safety was made possible by the collective commitment, collaboration, and care of our staff across the district. We had tremendous growth in our safety protocols. We partnered to implement and monitor updated expectations around cell phone use, supporting staff, students, and families through clear communication, leadership alignment, and opportunities for student voice as we prepared for that implementation. Staff across the district collaborated to successfully launch Centegix and a new visitor badge system and strengthen our ability to respond quickly and consistently during emergencies through shared training, common protocols, and coordinated systems across all of our school sites. This work was also anchored by aligned and updated comprehensive school safety plans, which you approve, ensuring every school is operating from a consistent, compliant, and well-coordinated framework for preparedness, response, and continuous improvement. As we look ahead, we will continue to monitor implementation data. Our visitor badge system in Centegix allows us to have data that we can track and make thoughtful adjustments, so we're working with school sites to do that. And I just want to appreciate our student services team for the tremendous lift alongside our data, our technology team. This wouldn't have been possible without their leadership and support, and the implementation of our staff across all the systems to be committed to these protocols. So Valley Oak High School is included in the LCAP due to the equity multiplier funding, which is a separate source of funding allocated outside of LCFF. School sites, but it is a requirement of the LCAP that we report out on our equity multiplier funding. School sites with instability rates greater than 25%, which means the percentage of students who do not complete a full year of learning at a single school site. So oftentimes our students transition to Valley Oak because it is an alternative program. The second indicator for equity multiplier funding is that the prior year socioeconomically disadvantaged pupil rates is greater than 70%. So the transient movement in and out, and then the socioeconomically disadvantaged rate of the school is what provides this allocation. So a school that receives equity multiplier funds, they must address all student groups that have the lowest performance level on one or more state indicators on the California dashboard. So Valley Oak's indicators, and you'll see that they've made growth since receiving this funding and being identified. Their college and career readiness indicator was in the red. Similarly, their English language arts, math, English learner project, progress, graduation rate, and suspension rate is in the orange. And I just want to highlight that our students who attend Valley Oak High School are tremendous students. And they are attending that school for various reasons. And oftentimes it's because they're behind in credits and they don't have the readiness for these indicators, yet they're assessed at grade level. And so I just want to highlight, we had the opportunity to hear from one of the students speak on one of the strategies that we're using to address some of these gaps in their learning. And the learning that they did through their internship program was phenomenal to hear about. With that, I will turn it over to Dr. Boo to share a little bit about their data, and then I'll share what the school is doing to address some of this.
Okay, so I will briefly go over a lot of the same data points on the data points on the dashboards, but specific to Valley Oak. And so this is their graduation rate over the last 3 years. It is lower than the district's rate, which, as I shared, is in the 90s, but you can see it has been trending upwards slightly every year for the last few years. This is their English Learner Progress Indicator, or the ELPI, as it's sometimes called. This number has also been trending upwards over the last 3 years. And again, this is that indicator that looks at growth and progress for the English learners at that site. This is the suspension rate at Valley Oak. So again, the percentage of students who were suspended one or more times, and we see a nice little decrease there from last year to this year. They were at 6.4%, which is the lowest it has been over the last 3 years. This is that CCI indicator, or the college and career indicator, so percentage of students who are graduating considered college and career ready. And so this, as you can see, continues to be an opportunity for growth at Valley Oak High School. And then this shows the CASP results over the last 3 years in English and math. On the dashboard, it's measured as, the way it's measured is the distance from standard, or the average number of scaled score points that the average student is short from scoring at standard met or exceeded on the assessment. And so we actually want to see numbers, the numbers are trending in the right direction for English language arts. So they were, a couple years ago, 152.8 points short from meeting standard. Now it's only 117. And then math has been improving slightly, but still room for growth over there. Okay. All right. I'll turn it over to Dr. Reddy.
Okay, so the equity multiplier funds, a school site determines how to use those. Based off of their scores, they focus on English math intervention, so students have access to additional supports in those areas, as well as instructional aids within those classrooms. So it's pushed into the class, and it's also after school that they have opportunities to engage and get more support. One of the areas when we consider Valley Oak High School is that, and we look at the college and career readiness indicator, in order to meet that indicator, one of the barriers is CASP and or A to G. And so when students are transitioning to a school because they are behind in that area, it's incredibly hard to meet. Many of our students, their option when they leave is a 2-year school, trade school, military. And so one of the, as we've really looked at and worked with the team at Valley Oak, who has a tremendous care for their community and where their students land, one of the areas that we've really talked about is most of our students enter the workforce or a 2-year school. So how do we help them on that pathway so that those doors remain open and they can find where they want to go? So we've made a shift this year in looking at career readiness as a means to support students at Valley Oak, and using the Equity Multiplier Fund to really target that. So 40% of a counselor is a internship coordinator. And so with the partnership with the College and Career Readiness team, they've expanded internship opportunities during the school day at Valley Oak. So in the fall, they had their first cohort during their second Penn semester. They had 11 Valley Oak students who participated in an internship. And I just really want to appreciate the NVUSD departments because they did those within NVUSD. So maintenance and grounds, transportation and food service, they are very accessible to our students at Valley Oak by location. And so really looking at that location and accessibility. Our students set 4 internship goals when they started their internship. They interned 8 hours each week during one Penn semester to achieve them. They met weekly as a cohort with their counselor, who's their intern coordinator, to share about their experiences, expand on their learned internship skills. And they are also using our new system where we can track their intern hours. It's called School Links. And then we can also have community partners find interns through that particular program. So when we looked at that data after this first cohort of students, they had over 100 internship hours, and a pensemester is very short. So they also had to present publicly. So they presented to their mentors, who were directors or staff from NVUSD in the organization, some of their teachers in the fall as their culminating experience, and they had to reflect on their learning. So this is an area where we're continuing to look at how we use this funding to support them as they move into that workforce, and exciting first step. We had 11 students participate in that first cohort. Yeah. And that concludes my long LCAP menu report. Take any feedback or questions.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of information. Before we get to trustee comments, I'm going to ask for public comment. Mr. Michaels, are there any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. Trustees, anybody want to have, do anybody have questions? Or?
Trustee Rice is going to express gratitude, so please.
I just wanted to express gratitude to Dr. Reddy, Dr. Abood, and your team. Your presentations are always so comprehensive, really thoughtful. You do a great job sort of elevating and amplifying the strategy and the intentionality behind all of the moves and the decisions and the resource allocations, and the supports that you're implementing in alignment with our board priorities. And just overall, I mean, there's so much data in there. I won't dive into details, but just it's really remarkable and cause for celebration to see that the vast majority of that data that you cited and those indicators that you're tracking are all trending in the right direction. And, you know, I say it 2 or 3 times a year, but, you know, you don't turn a ship on a dime. It is not an immediate, you're not going to implement an improvement plan in any of these areas and see, you know, although we did see 10% growth in a few of those data points, which is a huge celebration, yeah. But, you know, to see 2, 3, 4% growth and this trend across all of these LCAP goals is just an amazing testament to your dedication, the dedication and hard work of all of the staff that are working hard in service to our students. So thank you so much.
Trustee Jankowicz?
I did that very intentionally because I knew how eloquently she would say that, so I'm just going to say yes. And I agree, I've written out this big long thing, but I do think that, I know these are long and I'm sure they're arduous for you, but what is really nice about it is you give everything that, thank you. Everything that we talk about in the strategic plan and we talk about in this, you know, in an overview at 30,000 feet, what is really nice for us is for you to be able to take all of that and funnel it down to the actual work that is being done. And so our ability to not only understand but appreciate the amount of work that's being done, the intentionality of the work, the specificity of the work, I think the thing that I've noticed so much over the last, 8 years is how much we're assessing the work and we're really taking the time to look at the data, extrapolate those things that are really critical to keep our kids moving on a path forward. So I too want to appreciate not only what you're doing, but where you're taking us. So thank you both very much.
Trustee Water?
Thank you. This was a very encouraging report, and I'd like to speak to the Valley Oak component. I did visit Valley Oak, last month, and I sat in on a faculty meeting and kept my mouth shut and listened to them. And they were being, very open, vulnerable, and sharing stories about what they'd done to motivate their students, to do better. And I thought it was very encouraging. And remember, at the DLAC meeting and then at our school board meeting, we saw one of their interns. He came in and talked about, the program, delightful person. And yeah, we're moving in the right direction here. So, thank you for this.
Trustee Martin?
Where do I see collaborative approach to thoughtful information implementation? Where is that? What? Where do I see that?
You see that in the, that's one of the categories that we have, the 4 categories that we have to organize the strategies in the strategic plan.
Okay. I would say that all of the information and the way this was presented is very much a collaborative approach to thoughtful implementation. Like the amount of thoughtfulness, compassion, actually, like to say that our Valley Oak students are amazing students, even though they're having trouble in the system, and the fact that we have Valley Oak High School to begin with to catch those who fall through, the system, and then to thoughtfully and compassionately give them an opportunity throughout the district that it's probably more appropriate for what they want to do is just phenomenal. That there's that thoughtfulness and collaborative approach to what you're doing and how you're looking at the system. It's great.
Thank you. I have the opportunity to present this information, but I think one of the benefits of our strategic plan is that it's highly integrated, and this happens with an incredible team of directors and principal leaders and educators and unions who partner with us to do this work, because we wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Yes, student board member Fish Leader.
Thank you. I just want to especially thank you because I know we had like a communication error on trying to find like a student communication. And so I'm thankful that you were able to connect with the Student Advisory Council to find a different way, and especially working with all the parents because I know they have feedback too. So I know the 45 or 55-minute presentation was a little long, but I especially think as a student how important it is to have the voice. So thank you.
Thanks for your patience listening.
Well, I just want to show my gratitude for everyone who's doing the work, from the instructional team on down to the teachers and even our, other staff who support the schools, like our cafeteria workers and our playground supervisors, because they are some of the adults that students connect with throughout their day. So I think this is a testament to all the great work that the entire district is working on. Okay, great, thank you. Before we move on, does anybody need a break?
Don't we have to make a motion to extend the meeting at 9:30?
Oh, yes.
9:30, so I'd like to. Isn't it at 9:30 we normally do it?
Isn't it?
Or is it 10:30?
10?
I thought it was 10.
Okay,
I think we'll be
I
done by
rescind my
10.
motion.
Okay. So do we need a break? Does anybody need a break? We're past 2 hours.
I'm okay.
Okay. Trustee Gonzalez-Mars, you're online. I just want to make sure it's okay. Great. All right, we will move on to K, action items. K1, general services. K1A, adoption of California School Board Association recommended January 2026 special policy updates.
I want to make a quick comment before the board takes the vote. Again, thank you to the policy committee for reviewing the January special policy updates. We do typically take the policies for introduction and then action in a subsequent meeting. The policy committee reviewed the special policy updates alongside those November 2025 regular updates. But the reason this set is being advanced for immediate action is because the law requires that these changes be reflected in the policy by March 1st.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, are there any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K2, Business Services. K2A, Agreement with Trivad, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
No public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item K3, Facilities Improvement. K3A, Agreement with Chauvin and Associates.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K4, Human Resources. K4A, Resolution 26-08, Release of Temporary Certificated Employees.
Move to approve, but I did have one comment.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Yeah, we'll do public comment. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Trustee Reiser?
Thank you. I just want to take a moment to echo the sentiments of Assistant Superintendent Page. These two resolutions are releasing temporary certificated and temporary classified employees, and I just wanted to express my gratitude for their important and meaningful work and contributions to the district. As a former public school teacher, I have lived through that experience of the getting notice that you might get a pink slip and then getting a pink slip and then it's still kind of going on and waiting to see how enrollment and staffing numbers are crunched. And it's an anxious time. And these are all people who are wanting to give their time and energy and their work life in service to our students. So I just wanted to thank them for their hard work.
Some of them are worse.
Thank you. I think you spoke about, I think, everyone's feelings about this topic. I also want to add that I know part of the list includes all the teachers who took on an extra period. So thank you very much for dedicating extra time to our students. I think now we're on to roll call.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item K4B, Resolution 26-09, Classified Reductions or Discontinuance of Particular Kinds of Service. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item sorry, I lost my place. K5, Instructional Services. K5A, supplementary instructional materials adoptions for high school.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item K5B, 2025-26 School Plan for Student Achievement Addendums.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K5C, agreement with Concord Theatricals.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K5D, agreement with Panera Bakery Cafe.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K5E, student privacy agreement and software with WeVideo.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K5F, Riverside Insight and Data Privacy Agreement. May I
Move to
get a
approve.
motion?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K5G, Data Privacy Agreement with Help Kids Learn.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K6, Operational Services. K6A, Agreement with Carpet One Floor and Home Design Center.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any comments online?
We have no public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K6B, agreement with Shared Plate Strategies.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K6C, request to purchase new school bus.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now on to item L, informational, L1, general services, L1A, curriculum and student supports committee. They did meet and the minutes are attached. Are there any public comments? Mr. Michaels?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. Item L1B, Facilities and Technology Committee, they did meet, but the minutes are not attached. They'll be provided at the next meeting. L1C, Finance Committee, there was no meeting. L1D, Policy Committee, the meetings are attached. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, we are on to L2, Business Services, L2A, Enrollment Report. Any public comments on this item, Mr. Michaels?
There are no public comments on this item.
Any comments from trustees? No. I just want to add one comment in that I do see a decline from just beginning of the year, and we're at the mid-year point, so it's a little discouraging, but it's real. Okay, L2B, Quarterly Investment Report, December 31st, 2025. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, thank you. L2C, Warrant Register for Accounts Payable, Checks Issued by NVUSD. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. L3, Human Resources, L3A, Quarterly Report on Williams Uniform Complaint for period ending January 31st, 2026. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. We are now on item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent. Any suggestions, comments? No? All right. N, future agenda items. Any future agenda items? Nope. Doesn't look like it. And O, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
First by trustee Martin.
Second.
Second by trustee Reiser. I guess we need a roll call here too.
Student Board Member
Roll call.
Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, and we are adjourned.